Women played a pivotal role in the French Revolution, each to their own abilities, strong, athletic women with skills. My local mayor has got staff that are more skilled than himself. There's the singing policewoman and the communications officer that speaks English. The good cop, bad cop receptionists that are whoever he asks them to be. And the new girl. The new girl speaks better English than the communications officer, I'll suggest. And she smiles without agenda for her future. I've got to build a wall, a party wall, to keep the neighbour out. Certainly keep his mice out. Keep fire out and sound out. He's quite quiet. It's probably to keep my sound in more, if I'm to be honest. For 20 years, while his children were there, he did nothing about keeping them protected from the risk of fire from a vacant property. It's called a party wall in Britain that separates one demise from another. It works slightly differently, half and half, basically, in England, but the person that built the wall owns the wall in France. The way that the coping is struck, if you're on the downside, where the rainfall would run off to, it's your wall. If it offers structural support to your beams, it's your wall. France has a million codes for everything, from driving to building regulations to what the appropriate typeface for prefecture letters is. Probably not that last one. It pays to know your French codes, laws. They do get tacitly ignored, but tacit, not doing anything really, is a big thing in France. It very effectively solves a lot of problems. It's used a bit like the opposite of micromanaging. Not really laissez-faire, because things are generally much more tightly controlled than that. One of my main priorities about my wall is that it's got to be insulating. He's changed his ceiling levels from when there were little mountain people living in his house, which means that he'll never have enough ceiling room to use the attic, but he's just blanked up the windows with sheathing ply, or what would have been windows to his attic. Oh, there's a thought. Instead of building my party wall vertically up, I wonder if I could, claim his attic as a flying freehold. No, that would be something. He's previously passionately argued that his cadastral document, his house ownership document, says that he's got 6 metres from such and such, and he owns a metre of my house. At the time, with his little children, no balustrade on his long balcony, he wasn't counting that bit of jutting out concrete with a 6-foot drop. So I've tied off 2 projectile planks from each front and back side to delineate how much is inside my property of this party wall. He's passionately objected about the one you can see, like a depressed flagpole. The other side doesn't seem to have noticed, and it's much more offensive to him. As an eventual outcome, he's destroyed stuff on the ground of mine that I've put in. He's started kicking up a fuss now of me putting a little bit of mortar over some tarmac to do the same delineation that was there previously, that he's falsely vandalised as his own in claim. He goes to the Marie, the mayor, about any little thing. He makes such a drama out of nothing. Doesn't like me because his wife ran off with some English guy. There's another English guy in the village now. But I suppose that's what you get for marrying a semi-professional. He's got 2 children out of it, who he never sees, and I think there might be some restraint order on him. An English woman sold her family house to an English man. Don't really understand how that happens. In a separate video, I'll do how I've got to close the road again. Visiting the Marie was all about it won't be just for a week, like your technical guy insisted was all that I could have, because that was dangerous, and he should have known that it was dangerous. The fact that every man and his dog wanted to just go straight through my ownership of the road for a week, to the extent that a farmer with his rifle was called when I refused, because I'm trying to work safely and keep them safe. The neighbouring village sub-mayor was also called and brought a bit of muscle with him, a couple of high-vis Eurasian council workers, and he kept it up at 9 metres difference in height until the bad weather turned in. His objective. I've got to close the road because I need to connect to the sewerage system. The composting toilet has been fine for 10 years, but you never know, I might want a visitor. Not everyone would agree with me. I am aspiring to solar panels, which I'm pleased to see in the codes would be, and in the Marie website, that it's very difficult to refuse planning permission for solar panels. I'm intending going a bit crazy with it, walls and roof. Silo mortar, you'll know what this is or you won't. Sand and cement isn't really a thing anymore. Mortar comes in huge silos for housing developers, and it's sort of loosed at the bottom, mixed with water with a auger, a corkscrew. Now when the job comes to an end, it's considered more or less toxic waste by some. It is a dust, but the silos just get opened and some chump has to shovel it all out the way so it doesn't make one little cone. So I bagged up as much as I could and brought a couple of tons over with me, not in one van load. But mixing this ready mix with mortar, so difficult. The mortar just doesn't want to, gotta knead it like bread. Gotta really hands-on. You'd just be in attendance at the mixer, adding tiny little amounts of water all the time. It'd take forever. Mixing it like plaster skim with the spiral on a drill is your best idea. It looks surprisingly like lime when it's on a wall plastered. I've been doing it all with my hands, laying bricks with my hands, partly because I've got to cut out a little bit of the insulating brick wall, lightweight. You don't get the same lightweight concrete blocks in France as you do in England. They've got no structural rating at all, compressive strength rating at all. But for potentially ever carrying beams of the beautiful roof, I'm building up a proper dense concrete block pier, perhaps 2 stories high to the apex of the ridge. So cutting out with a saw and tying in the existing lightweight concrete and the dense concrete, new dense concrete that I'm laying with my hands on the flat. So it's slow going, and I've only got a limited number of dense concrete blocks that I'd already brought over from Britain. So skunk stripe, weaseling neighbour, and getting me down really, and the need for British concrete blocks. I decided to have a trip back to Blighty. Just in time for the King's birthday.